Hey guys, welcome back to a new interview. We are with Jamie, the creator of Virus Roleplay. If you want to say hello, Jamie.
Hello, guys.
So today we're gonna ask Jamie some questions that a lot of people have been wondering. So the first question is, what made you decide to start Virus Border Roleplay?
Yeah, so I think I've told this story before on the Discord a few times, but for anybody new, I've been working on this project for about 4, almost maybe 5 years now, man. Um, it started off, I think, 2019. I was just playing Viking Law's Military Simulator. If you know, you know. I love that game, and he basically inspired me to make my own. And this was around the time where COVID-19 was happening, so everyone was in lockdown. All the news was about the virus and yada yada yada, right? So I was like, why don't I mix the concept of a border role play with an infectious virus? And then I did that, and then Seaburn was born, or CBRN. And for the uniforms, the really famous, infamous yellow people, that was inspired by my favorite game at the time, and still is, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. When I first started playing that game, they had these yellow hazardous operators called Lion and Finka that look exactly like um, the Roblox uniform that we use right now. Yellow hazmat gas masks, etc. So yeah, that's how the game was born, man.
All right, that is really interesting, and a lot of that's gonna clear up a lot of the stuff people have been wanting to know why you decided. So the next
Yep.
question is: did you ever think Virus Border would reach this many members?
Yeah, so the plan was always, I don't know, to make a popular game, right? But it's pretty cool how I've managed to, well, not only me and the team have managed to have to basically grow this from zero to where it is right now. And did I ever expect it to get this big? No, I don't think so. This game has really changed my life and how I view things, and I definitely want to pursue Roblox development like seriously after this because it started off being a passion project, and I was essentially working on this every single day for the past 3 years, unpaid. And then we released the game April 22nd, which happened to be my birthday. We released it on that day last year, and since then, I'm effectively doing what I used to be doing every day for 3 years, but now I'm getting, paid a little bit of money to do it as well. So, I'm really over the moon over that. Did I expect it to get this big? Obviously, everyone's plan for their game is to, make it popular, but because this is my first game, this is my first attempt at making a game. I didn't expect it to get this popular because most developers, they make their first game, it's a flop. They make their second, it's a flop. They make their third, they get a bit of, eyes on it. You know what I mean? But yeah, this was my first go at it. It took me a while, but yeah, I didn't expect it to get this big. But thank you guys so much.
All right, so that is a really good answer. So the next question is: what is your favorite thing about Virus Border?
My favorite thing. You mean the gameplay wise?
Yeah.
My favorite thing. Well, you see, it always changes because whenever we add the new thing, it's super fun to test. And it's just, you know what I mean? I just can't get enough of it. But back in the day, probably a year ago, it would have been, the viruses. Um, Especially with each one having their own unique special ability. That was really, really cool to me at the time. and then it progressed into, the Vanguard minigun. That was a really interesting concept that I was able to come up with, and I don't think I've ever seen something like that on the Roblox platform before. So I really enjoyed testing that out. And then progressing more, I really enjoyed testing the mech out. The leg animations and the movement is really complex, and Box did an amazing job making that. And yeah, that was really fun. That was one of my favorite features of the game. So I'd literally just joined the game just to spawn in my mech, walk around, shoot a few missiles, shoot some people. And then now it's probably the paratrooper because I just enjoy skydiving off of the the airplane. And yeah, that's pretty fun to me.
That is real fun. Those are a lot of people's favorite things to do too. So one thing,
Yeah, but
yeah,
like everyone else's, your favorite thing changes as we add new things, we change things, etc., etc. So gotta keep gotta keep the game new and fresh for people.
yep. So the next question is, do y'all plan on making like a version 2 of Virus Border?
Um, so plan right now is to fix up all the old systems, all the buggy systems after Christmas. Get the game to a nice playable state. Maybe add a few more content updates. But version 2, I don't think will happen. Instead, what we'll do is we'll just update older systems, introduce new systems to the original game. I don't want to make a version 2. I'd rather just keep everything original Seaburn and instead work on a different project. So the next project, I know this is your next question. You know what? I'll just let you ask the next question. But no, I don't think there'll ever be a version 2 of Seaburn. They'll just be the Seaburn will just continually update, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what you were right? What is the next project y'all are making?
So the next project we're working on is a tycoon game. It's called Zombie Defense Tycoon X. X is just because there's so many zombie tycoon games. Uh, you know how like Pet Simulator X, you know what I mean? All these
Yeah.
games just put an X behind it, so I was like, you know what, why don't I do that? So it's just unique on the search algorithm. But that's the next project, similar to CBRN, because I love, viruses, zombies, dystopian kind of aesthetic on the games. So, Zombie Defense Tycoon is the next game. I plan to have it similar to, your traditional zombie fighting games on Roblox, as well as having a really interesting military vehicle aspect of it, like War Tycoon is a great example on the Roblox platform. Essentially merging those two ideas into one to have a really cool game. And hopefully we're able to release it early, probably first quarter next year. And then not only that, it'll be able to, because it's a step in a completely different direction. It's more of a mainstream kind of game, you know what I mean? Like it's more of a game that, like more Robloxians will be able to play, more players will play. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That is
Because like
interesting.
the border role play is a niche kind of genre, so the tycoon game is more of a mainstream kind of genre, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then with that, I'll be able to um, build a separate community there, as well as advertise the existing border game, essentially like funneling members from the tycoon game into the border game, if that makes sense. Effectively, uh, getting more players on the border game without having to spend more on ads, if that makes sense. Because if someone likes the first game, they might like the second game, if that makes sense.
Y'all would make like a first person shooter type game. But yeah, that is
Um,
something I'm actually looking forward to playing is that y'all's new project.
yeah, so because the Tycoon is so vast and needs a lot of systems, such as tanks, helicopters, cars, etc. All those systems are actually developed for the Tycoon game, but we decided to share them with CBRN. So you know how like the army can drive the Humvee and special forces can drive the tank? Those systems are intended for the Zombie Defense Tycoon game. But while we're at it, we might as well share it with the CBRN community, find the bugs, stamp them out, polish up the systems before we release it on a mainstream kind of game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So kind of hitting two birds with one stone, developing on these two games because the ideas are so similar. We're able to share systems to essentially speed up 2x game development. Because me and Box are still full-time students, man. We're still in school, so we don't have too much free time, or as much free time as full-time dev studios would have otherwise. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Well, thank you a lot for taking the time to do this interview with us. It's answered a lot of questions people have been wanting to have answered.
Yeah, no worries, man. Appreciate you.
Yep. All right. So this is the interview with Jamie. If you guys have any more questions, leave it down in the comments, and we will be sure to answer them in probably another interview, probably in the next few months. So,
And yeah, one last thing, Seaburn, I love you guys. Thank you so much.
all right, y'all heard it. Good job, Seaburn. We are thankful of y'all and thankful of Jamie and his development team and command for making this all happen. But until next time, guys, we will see you all later.